So I was talking to my friend the other day, and we were going over this one question, realizing how much power there is in this question. It's a root question. You understand? It's a heart question. It's a foundation question. Now, we've all asked ourselves, what do I want? That's a very common question. What do I want? I want this. I want that. I want this. I need that. But the question really needs to be, what do I truly want? And what do I truly need in life? Now, yes, they sound like the exact same question, but even just notice the tonality shift when I ask those questions, right? Like the intention we put into things is so important. What do I want? What do I want in life? I want a big house. I want this car. I want to travel. What do I really want and what do I truly need? That's a deeper question right there. You understand? That's going into our heart, into our soul, into our foundation. Let me explain a little bit. Back in the day when I first started getting creative, I started off with music and I was creating beats and sounds and things like that for a few years. And I loved it because it was like the first time in my life I ever expressed any type of creativity. It was the first time in my life I gave myself the permission to express confidence in something that I love. I believe that every single one of us are creative. I just think a lot of us don't give ourselves the permission to create, to believe in ourselves, or the permission to be confident. So I gave myself that permission and I created and I loved it. A few years went by and I hit a creative block and I couldn't vision the exact future with what I was doing. I didn't know how I was going to make money from it. I'm getting a little bit older. I need to figure things out. So I pivoted into video, which I loved. And I was like, I have a natural knack for this. And within the first year of doing videos, I was traveling the world. I was working with artists like I wanted to work with and that I looked up to. I was getting a certain level of respect from like my peers and like, stepping into new circles, going places I've never been before. And then I got an opportunity, and the opportunity was, hey, let's get you a visa. Now, not a credit card. I'm Canadian, right? So legally, I couldn't go to the States and work. I would just go there, travel, and meet people. But I was going internationally and filming. And I was around a lot of successful people. And they're like, hey, we want you to work with us full time. Let's get you a visa so you can live here in America. And I was like, yeah. I was like, what? Because that's like what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I said, I want to be a big music video director. I want lots of money and I want to go to America. But there was a problem. What I really wanted, what I truly wanted was to be a good father because I was already a father. My daughter was very young at the time. She was like 1 or 2 years old, right? So of course, I would travel and go do some work for a week or two and come back. But I didn't really fully think of what I was doing. I was climbing a ladder that would have distanced me from the very thing I loved the most, which was my newborn daughter, and I wouldn't be able to make that move to America with her. So I hit a wall. There was a contradiction in what I wanted and what I truly needed and wanted. You understand? Yes, of course I wanted to be in America. Yes, of course I wanted to make that money. Money was right in front of me. Of course, I was around like celebrities and artists. I wanted that fame at the time. These are things I put my treasure in. But what I really, really wanted was to be a present father, as much as I could be. So I had to make a decision. I had to go home for good. And I went home. I came back to Canada and I said, okay, well, my daughter's 2 years old and I thought I wanted to be this big music video director. And if I become that, it means, well, where I live in Canada, it's not a big industry. It means I'll have to travel a lot and I'll have to leave a lot. Like all my opportunities will be elsewhere. So I need to learn how to work from home. That's what I need to do. And I started to figure it out. Now, it didn't happen right away. I came back, I took a job, it took some time. But finally, one day, I found a way to work from home so I can be more present. Now, this is why I bring this up. So often we are building a life, we are climbing a ladder, and then questioning, well, why isn't this fulfilling me? Why isn't it giving me the meaning that I thought I wanted? Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever gone for something, got it, and then you're like, that's it? That's it? And you're like, I thought I wanted that, or I thought I wanted that person. I thought I wanted this thing. But we didn't ask what we truly want, what we truly need, what our values are, what our morals are, you understand? And building from there. Because a lot of times, the things that we want will contradict the things that we truly need. You may say, I want to be married one day, right? And I want a certain type of lifestyle, So I want my spouse and I to at least make $500,000 a year, $500,000 a year. And better yet, let's say you're a woman and you're like, I would prefer to be a stay-at-home mom with my own side business. So I want my husband to make $500,000 a year. Okay, great. Cool. You got dreams, you got goals. Now let's say you meet somebody that checks off all those boxes, but the only problem is their career requires them to be away on the road for 200 days a year. Now, let's say what you really want is for a partner to be there with you, day in and day out. Now, what you want is there, you can have the marriage, you can have the house, you can have the kid, but you would be alone 220 days a year. Are you okay with that sacrifice, with that compromise, right? Don't climb a ladder that you don't really want for what you want on the surface. This is why I believe self-discovery is such an amazing journey, because we get to understand ourselves, understand what we truly want in this world, our values, right? The true treasure. That's why on this channel, we talk so much about the inner treasures, like the things that we should actually be striving for, which is, wisdom, strength, compassion, love, having the ability to forgive, having the ability to build community, because everything else we will receive. We'll launch the businesses, we'll make the money. Yeah, that's all good. But when we pass, all those things will rot away. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot take your house with you. You cannot take your money with you. Yes, resources are great, but don't chase the wants, the little wants, right? The surface level wants, the fleshly wants, while you sacrifice what you really, really want. You understand? You have to be careful that the world's wants are not your wants. You understand? Let's break it down. Listen. We go on Instagram, we go on YouTube, we go on these platforms probably almost every single day. Let's be honest, probably 5 to 10 times a day. And nonstop, we are consuming other people's lives, which is cool. We can be inspired, we can take note. But at the same time, we may be influenced into wanting something that doesn't align with who we truly are. Right? You may see a travel influencer and be like, oh, I want that life. Not realizing the behind the scenes of that life, constantly on the road, never having any consistent connections because you're never in one place, right? The uncertainty in your finances. That may not actually be appealing to you, but the Instagram post was appealing. So if you don't even know what you truly, truly want, enjoy the journey of self-discovery. Enjoy this life, you understand? Journey, learn about yourself, learn about those connections, and take note. Take note of what you like and what you don't like, and start to build that value system, start to build your morals, and start from there. Anything I do has to check off. Like, there's opportunities and there's things that I wish to do that I will not do until my daughter is 17 or 18 years old. And I told myself that years ago. There's like one big project I want to do in life, but it would require me to be not present. So I'm waiting like 7 years for that. You understand? Because everything starts at the root, at my foundation, and I build from there, because we don't want to climb ladders, get to the top and be like, I don't like it here, right? Now, a lot of us are going to do it at least once or twice, and we will learn from it. And that's amazing. But every single one of us should be having that journey and that self-discovery of figuring out, what do I really want, right? Like, yeah, you may want $10 million, you may want $30 million, but the amount of sacrifices you out there make for that, is it worth it? The beautiful thing is, you get to choose the life you want to live and then go build it. But a lot of us are building other people's lives, not the life that we want, right? Once you realize, you know what? Yeah, making this much money a year would be great, but working 55 hours a week, I don't want to do that. Well, simplify. Now you know you may have to adjust your lifestyle, right? You may not be traveling every month. You may not be buying this type of car, but at least you'll have your community here. At least you'll be able to wake up and have a little bit of freedom in the morning. At least you'll be able to come home and, be with your loving partner. Or maybe that's not appealing to you and you are somebody that does want to go and build that business. But understand who you are and build from there. You understand? So more self-reflection, more meditation, more prayer time, and just starting to really build, what do I really want? What do I really need? And having that discernment, because the world's ways are not our ways. You get to design this world, you understand? The greatest story is the one you live and write yourself. And just asking this question, like, what do I really want? For me, it was, I want to express myself. I want to be a father, a present father. Those were my two main things. So what did I do? I figured out how I could work from home and I could express myself. And it took me 10 years, but I'm here. I drive my daughter to school. I pick her up from school. When she's sick, she can call me at noon and she's like, Dad, I'm sick. I need to come home. And I pick her up right away. Her school's 5 minutes from here. I pick her up. There's no, oh, sorry, I'm in the office, or oh, sorry. Because I have that flexibility, and that is what I wanted. But I realized I was climbing a different ladder that contradicted my root value, what I truly needed, which was to be a father and to express myself. You have to embark on that journey, embrace the journey, honor it, and be patient. Because when I came back home and I realized, okay, I need to figure out how I could work from home, it didn't happen right away. I was still doing video in my city. I took jobs I didn't like, right? Sometimes we take steps back. I went from traveling the world, shooting music videos, doing cool things, to then going and shooting weddings. Not sexy. Not sexy. But I took a job, and that job gave me flexibility at home. Now, I still wasn't completely in my house like I wanted to be, but I still have flexibility in my own city to still be a father and to still be here. Next, I finally figured out how to position to work from home. And now it's like everything's aligned. You understand? And we all get to build our life. But it starts with that question, what do I really want? Not just what I want, right? Because we all know what we want. We all know what our flesh desires, But what will fulfill us in the long run? You understand? Think about that and go and build your life.